Yesterday we took the McCarthy Road back. It's a pretty late day for us. I don't think we rolled in until
about 11.
Well, yeah, maybe a little after, because I don't think we actually were like in bed until midnight. I don't know, I'm sleepy still, but we got our comfy clothes on because today is another long driving day.
Yep.
We're taking on Destruction Bay. It's funny because everyone has to take that road to get into Alaska if you're not doing Top of the World Highway, but because we did Top of the World Highway, like we've done this huge loop, and so now we're having to take Destruction Bay out. Everybody that we've run into that's come in that way has just been like, yeah, it really sucks this year. Yeah, it's really awful this year. I don't know. I honestly don't know if it can be worse than the McCarthy Road we just took yesterday.
No way. We came in after the McCarthy Road and like everything was a mess. Like silverware in the drawers was all mixed up. Our slide didn't work.
Yeah, that was really stressful at like 11:30.
Yeah, and I have one bar of service, so luckily after like 15 minutes a page loaded and someone said, "Oh, I had a plate switch of there's a switch in here to lock or unlock the slide." And I went, after like us spending all this time pulling fuses, doing all this stuff, click the switch on and the slide went out.
Thank goodness. Because that would have really sucked to have like a broken slide.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to fix it. So last night was actually the first time we ever stayed in a pullout in Alaska. And we got to show it to you because it's simply beautiful. And we honestly thought that we'd be staying in pullouts a lot more in Alaska, but yeah, it just hasn't really worked out that way. But this one was worth the stop, and we were just so tired after our drive day. Look at this! Oh my gosh, so stunning. Alaska really is just so beautiful. Like, everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, new scenery, new landscape. It's just so beautiful out here. So I'm going to try and keep that in mind as we tackle Destruction Bay.
On Alaska to south for 90 miles.
Ooh.
A minor issue. Well, that's the chipmunk or the squirrel. He's pissed. Minor issue. I will say that when you come and do like rest areas and stuff and you're walking around and checking your rig, look for things out of place. For me, it was a little bit of water dripping from the back side of our rock guard, or whatever they're called, fender. And mud flap. So I saw just a little bit of water dripping. I was like, that's weird. Did a little bit of water get stuck up there? because it wasn't a huge puddle. Kind of looked like this one over here.
Yeah.
So then I was looking at it and I see it go up. And I was like, no, it's definitely coming from higher up. So it's maybe from the bed of the truck. And then Ray followed it up the truck and found it coming from the RV, which is what I was suspecting. So then we're like, okay, indicator, water, RV, where's it coming from? Traced it back, we know our water tank's in there. We know pretty much all the different connectors.
Yeah, the fresh. I mean, right there's our fresh water.
Yeah, fill.
Hot water tank.
Our water pump is just in front of it. The hot water tank. So
got all the water on this side.
yeah. So just opened up. We have the little door we put into our cabinet here, and turned on the water pump. And as you can see, we had a little bit more water coming out. So we found the actual leak. It's just a connection. I honestly think it might be a shark bite, which is understandable because we don't have any shark bites in like really any of our system except for this one, and I think it failed.
Did we
do
the shark bite?
We did the shark bite because we were looking for a certain connector for the freshwater fill. So I just wanted like a easy compression outlet. So I just cut it and I threw a shark bite on there, but I think it's leaking.
Yeah,
So.
I was really hoping it was one of the older connections because I feel like everything that's broken so far, like when the average person could just blame the manufacturer, you know, be like, oh, this craftsmanship. Like, we've kind of made it a joke between us now. Like, every time it breaks, we're like, oh my God, the craftsmanship in here is just trash.
It's like these people didn't know what they're doing. No, I'm just kidding. We knew shark bites are, they're good. They're easy, like for stuff, but it just couldn't handle the Alcan and the Destruction Bay portion of the highway.
No.
So I mean, maybe I'll be able to just shove it back down and fix it, because you know shark bites work by grooves. But if it's broken, no big deal. We can buy a new shark bite in town to fix it until we get home and get a compression fitting, and I can use my little PEX tool, because I'm not buying another PEX tool. They're expensive.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Back on the road.
Tired of playing Guess That Smell in your RV? We certainly were, and that's why we created Tank Tune-Up. We created this holding tank treatment with a dual action formula that not only breaks down waste, but eliminates odors. Our formula doesn't have fillers or artificial fragrances that honestly sometimes make the odors worse. Tank Tune-Up is so easy to use. Just simply scoop it, rinse it, and forget it. Whether you're hitting the road for a weekend getaway or living the full-time RV lifestyle, Tank Tune-Up makes odors a thing of the past. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get yours today. And if you want to learn more about our product, check out our full video on it. All right, so we have been now driving this road for hours. We crossed the border. We're officially back in the Yukon, and we're about 25 miles away from the actual town of Destruction Bay. So we figured we'd vlog just this last little bit so you can kind of get a feel for how bumpy it is inside the truck. But overall, this drive isn't as bad as we thought, and I think it's because everybody else says it's like horrible, worst drive, horrible, awful, awful, awful. And I think it is bad, but for a highway for sure. And you know, I also think it's something where people coming in, this is kind of like your first big rough road into Alaska. Yeah, your first taste. So you're just like, oh yeah, that's the worst road. But because we went up and around and did like all these other horrible roads before this, we're like, oh yeah, this is just like any other horrible road in Alaska.
Yeah, frost heaves and potholes.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a good chunk of this road that's actually unpaved, and that's the best part of the road because for us.
And it's on the Canadian side.
Right, and we like that better because there actually aren't potholes. There aren't frost heaves. It's just unpaved road, and it's not even washboard, so you're not like the whole time. Like, you're just cruising on.
I don't know how Canada does it, because it's like really, really nice, easy gravel road.
Yeah. So yeah, it's actually worse when you you have the frostiques and the potholes.
Yeah, the layers of pavement that like some erode away
Yeah.
at different rates, and so then it's like really kind of precarious to even choose where to go. Like a single pothole, you can like see it and dodge, or multiple potholes, you can see it and dodge. But when the whole road is like 5 layers of cement or gravel or whatever that they put down,
Yeah.
and it's eroded away in different parts, it's just really hard.
Yeah. So, you know, obviously it shook our water connection loose, and that's, you know, the worst of Destruction Bay. Sorry guys, I keep trying to fight the glare here, so I'm just gonna talk to you with half my face. But yeah, so obviously, like, it's still a rough road. You're still gonna get things shaken up. You're still gonna have things probably break loose, you know. Oh, we lost a coffee cup too.
Yeah.
So Destruction Bay portion of the drive took a coffee cup and a shark PEX connection.
Yeah, and I think another thing is because we lived full-time for 5 years, we got real used to, I mean, there's bad roads everywhere, so we got real used to packing our stuff away so that even when it does get shaken, it like doesn't break, or like we're just kind of always prepared for that, where I feel like a lot of people who make the trip to Alaska might not be prepared for an RV and going down the road.
Right.
So that's definitely a big thing. So check out our packing videos and Ray's good packing method.
Oh, thanks.
She's coined.
Yeah, I've coined it the cram it full method. But yeah, it's basically just stuffing your cabinets full so nothing can move. Anyway, well, hopefully this portion of the video hasn't made you completely sick, but as you can see, bumpy, but doable. We rolled into Kathleen Lake Campground around 11 p.m. and passed out. We hit the road early morning and I forgot to get any footage, so here are a few shots from Google. If you're passing through this area, we highly recommend this gorgeous campground for an overnight or even just the lake for a lunch stop. We continued on through the Yukon until we hit the border and we're officially back in Alaska. Our destination, Haines. So we had a beautiful drive in to Haines. Yesterday we crossed the border back into Canada, the Yukon, then it turned into British Columbia. Then we're back in the US today. These border crossings have been really easy, literally 2 minutes each. Ask you a few questions about, you know, food, tobacco, weed, all that stuff. Oh, firearms, yeah, and you're good to go. So we had no reservations here. We ended up finding this little park that has beautiful spots right on the water. I mean, it is just paved, but still beautiful nonetheless. And they had availability, so it's always perfect when that works out. We are going on the ferry tomorrow, and we kind of just wanted, I don't know, we were gonna settle anywhere, but this ended up being full hookup, so I mean, the batteries are 100%, so we don't even need the electrical, but
it was just a beautiful spot.
yeah,
Right.
we just kind of wanted it
We
for
like
the spot.
drove all the way down Main Street, and then just like looking around, we're like, oh, there's an RV park right here on the water, let's go.
Yeah, it's funny, when I was checking in, she was like, and how did you get referred to us? And I'm like, just drove on by. She's like, oh, okay, that happened. So now we're gonna go explore the town a little bit, because it was just this cute little town coming in, and We have time. I think we got about 24 hours actually.
Yeah.
Exactly. We gave ourselves 2 days, but we needed the extra day because that Murphy's Road in Wrangell, St. Elias just really took it out of us. So it took all day. I guess let's figure out what there is to see. So, I think we have mixed feelings about this town. Like, you're neutral. He's like, yeah, this is cool. But I'm just like, oh my God, I love Haines. I don't really know why. It's just this tiny, small town, but like, I just really dig the vibes. So we ended up doing a little bar hopping last night. And I liked it. And I'm sure, you know, the alcohol had something to do with it, but they have a meadery here that opened in 2020. And it was just like really cool vibes, yummy mead, you know, just nice. And then we went to the other corner and we tried a couple little samples at Haines Brewing Company. But like, it literally just says brewing on the side, or brewery on the side. I swear I'm still not drunk. After that, we then went to the fog cutter, which is just like the local watering hole, but it's in one of the original buildings of Haines. And so I think that's what I like. Again, I just really like the old buildings. Just really cool vibes. I dig it. Do you dig it?
Yeah, we did our Alaskan pull tabs.
Yeah, so we tried pull tabs. We lost. Well, we won, but you know, we were in the negative at the end of the night.
If you don't know what pull tabs are, you'll see them around here. They're essentially scratchers, but instead of scratching, you pull the tab. The other thing that we were kind of like looking up, we like was like the odds. Each place, like there's only a certain number of tickets for the pull tabs that they'll print, and instead of like all the other like scratcher places where it's like hundreds of thousands, it's like the runs are only in thousands. And I feel like it's like per place, and so when you look it up, each place will have different games.
Lots.
Yeah,
lot numbers. But also different games.
Yeah, exactly. Where there's only like 3,000 tickets, and so you get to see this big clear plastic box, and it only has the only amount of tickets that they issued.
Yeah.
So Ray played it where she went for the ones that had the most tickets, and I went for the one that had the least amount of tickets, because I was like, okay, all the winners they weren't picked yet, and so I knew I had a higher chance of winning in that box because. But
some of the high winners were picked.
Yeah, I realized that afterwards, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, your method still worked better. I mean, so we each just played $20, and you ended up winning $11 back, right? And I only won 4. Yeah, so fun little town, definitely worth a stop in my opinion. But today we are now headed to the ferry because we are taking a ferry to Juneau, and then tomorrow we're taking another ferry, which we learned we've been saying this town wrong. So we're taking a ferry to, we keep calling it Gustavus, but they told us last night it's pronounced Gustavus. Then we'll be there for 5 days because the ferry schedule is only 5 days. Otherwise, we would not have stayed that long. But it'll be good to have some downtime because I feel like we've just been bouncing really quickly these last few days. So it'll be good to like relax a bit. But I'm really excited to take the ferry with the RV. We'll see how that goes, but should be fine. Should be fine.
Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on our adventures on the Alaska Marine Highway System, aka the Alaska Ferry System. We'll see you next week.